How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Here today with another 1/6 scale figure review. Today we're going to be looking at Daredevil from the Disney Plus show Daredevil Born Again by Hot Toys. And starting off with the box art, as you can see here, we have the Daredevil logo in the middle. Then we have like the little wraparound sonar effects that go around the front and the side of the box. And here towards the front of the box, we see Daredevil Born Again. How I'm assuming is Daredevil in Braille there at the bottom by the Hot Toys logo. Have a nice image of Daredevil himself here. Looks like artwork from the show. The rest of the little sonar effects. And when you remove the slip cover, towards the back of the box, we treat it to this nice image of the figure itself. A nice little pose there of the billy clubs. And off to the side, we have a little bit more of the Braille. I'm assuming it says Daredevil. And we got an image of the little preview here of the figure through this little window. And more Braille on the side. And once we take off the clamp tray, we get our first look at the man without fear, Daredevil himself. All right, and here we have Daredevil on the rotating turntable. Just getting our first impression of the figure. Taking a closer look at all the little details on the suit, the sculpt work, the cowl, all the little details on the figure itself. Getting our quick first overall impression before we go ahead and take a deeper dive into the figure itself and his accessories. Starting off with the display base, Daredevil Born Again in the middle. We have a silhouette of New York City. We have that little red and little sonar sense there on the side. We have the Daredevil nameplate and regular crotch grabber at the top. Then we have the battle damage cowl, which is kind of like on this little display stand here. For some reason, Hot Toys made this glued and attached together. It's not interchangeable. We have the battle damage there on the horn. We have some bruises and scratches here in the front and the top. See some of the scraping and the weathering on top of it. Then you can see the lens through the front. You can kind of see through to the other side. Overall, it's a nice little piece, but unfortunately, like I said, it's just glued to the stand, so it's not something that you can use and interchange unless you modify it, of course. We have the long billy club here. As you can see, nice little paint details there. It's one solid piece of plastic. You can see kind of like the little ridges on the grip there and on the billy clubs themselves. Then we have the two separate ones, and of course same details, nicely done. And it has at the top the little slot for the these little strings, and this is done in like a nice bendable wire, so you can get some nice little dynamic poses, I guess, with the billy club. And so what you do is at the top here it has this little plastic. You just kind of insert them into the billy clubs, and so it's kind of just, it's a friction hole, so you just kind of wedge it in there, and then you can you can move the wire around as you please. And the other end has the slot as well. Then we have the angry lower faceplate. Nice little details on the paint apps. You see like the beard here, and at the bottom you see the teeth, some shiny, some nice details there. Part of the nose. Overall, it's a nice little piece. So just kind of like a magnet there with a friction hold as well. And then we have the Charlie Cox head sculpt, Matt Murdock himself. I believe this is a really solid head sculpt. The paint apps on it, the little furrow brow there at the top. You see kind of like all the little freckles and the paint apps, details on the sculpt itself. It has that kind of like Matt Murdock stare, as I call it. So It's kind of like the eyes are there, but no one's home. Then you can see all the little strands of hair, the sculpted hair, and all the little nice little paint apps, and you got our peg for the neck connector as well. Then we have the glasses here, which are on this very soft, flimsy plastic, so be very careful with those not to have them break. Then you just go ahead and slide them over his ears, and then like I said, it's a really solid head sculpt. And then when you have the glasses on, to me, I don't know, it just looks even better with the glasses. The likeness to Charlie Cox is definitely there. If you have like a extra body and you want to have a Matt Murdock, and hey, this head sculpt is gonna be a good one for sure. And then for hands, we have like a kind of open gesturing kind of hands. See the nice little details in the gloves, and you kind of see in the front little armor. Kind of see some of the weathering effects on there. Nicely done. Then we have another kind of gesturing pair of hands. We have our closed fists, and then lastly we have the baton holding hands, so you can just slide them through there. Alright, so now we have the mask sculpt up close and personal, so you can go ahead and take a closer look at all the little details. And as you can see, we have the little horns which are done this hard plastic. And then on the mask, you can see kind of like the little screen printed effects there. You kind of see like all the little ridges on it, all the little lines. Then we have this little kind of piece of fabric there, kind of what I say where he uses to cover his neck and hair. That's where before he puts the cowl on. And the expression, it's like has like a serious little face there, likeness to Charlie Cox. And I'm not seeing it fully there. Then here you can see all this little soft fabric there, and then it's all soft good, so there shouldn't be no issues in terms of moving the neck and posing him around. Now moving on to the rest of the suit, and this is where some of the issues start to come in play. As you can see, the no traps, and then this little chest part of the suit, separate piece that's on top of the body, so that's why it looks like he doesn't have any traps, and just kind of goes flat across, and then where the shoulders start, it just kind of drops off. And of course, you know, the body, the upper body itself, I feel like is very small, so the proportions do look a little off. And the shoulders, they feel like, you know, they're not very broad. The arms feel a little skinny. When you see him from a distance, you can kind of tell like he has like a big head. The body's like kind of small, and then the arms are kind of skinny. But overall, the details on the suit, like the weathering, like all the stitching, it's very nicely done. Just the proportions for me are not there. Now, I think this is all Daredevil so far. Like they can't get his proportions correctly. Hopefully, with our next release, they'll fix all these issues. And if you know how to modify, I guess you can fix that yourself and get those proportions correctly. But as you can see, like all the weathering and details on the suit. And then here at the legs, you can see more of the all the little weathering and all the little dirt on the suit. As you can see, like all the little screen printed kind of like ridges on all the pants here, and the weathering on the side as well. Then we have the holster for the billy clubs, which is done on this, it's kind of like a hard rubbery plastic, so kind of slides up and down the leg, so do be careful when you put the billy clubs in. I don't think there's any issues in terms of it breaking apart, so I guess that's a good thing. And knee pads, they're on Velcro. I know it's hard to tell from this angle, but the legs look really, really long compared to his torso. so kind of gives them like a little weird vibe. But the suit itself here, as we come down towards the boots, the way it kind of goes from the red to the black, like the material uh, looks really nice. The boots themselves, they're like on a kind of like a PVC plastic, and the way they made it, it's very intriguing. It's nicely detailed. You kind of see like the ridges on the top of the boot there. Then you kind of see like the cover, but it's all like one sculpted piece of PVC plastic. So you do get some motion there. And then towards the bottom of the shoes, you have some treading. And as we look at the back, you see the boots, all the details nicely done. Going up the suit, see all the little stitching and all the lines, all the weathering on it. I think the suit doesn't feel like it's gonna ruin too much. It might crease a little bit, so just be careful when you're posing it. And then you see some more of the weathering as we move up the back of the suit as well. To do the mouth plate swap, what you want to do is kind of grab at the back of the head here, kind of pull the cowl up. You see it comes up, exposes the mouth plate. Just go ahead and pull that out. Grab the next part and just make sure everything is lined up, and you just kind of push it back down, and everything just kind of falls into place here. And then have that now, the kind of like scowl expression. We can just see how that looks on the body now. Then for the sculpt swap, what you see is the little peg there at the neck. So you just want to pull out the cowl sculpt. Just pull that out, and then you just grab the head sculpt here. You have the little connector. You just kind of just push that in. And again, I've said it before, but this Charlie Cox head sculpt is really, really good in my opinion. So here we have the sculpt on the body. Now we have the sculpt with the shades. Then we have the full look for Matt Murdock here. And again, I know to me the likeness to Charlie Cox is it's really solid. I really like this head sculpt, but of course I'm gonna go with the mass version in my display. But if you have an extra body for the sculpt, you got a good Matt Murdock. So I don't think Daredevil's been in the Midnight Suns, but I'm just gonna look past that right now. So if you do have a Wolverine and a Strange, of course, Moon Knight, this is what all these guys will look like together. And here's one of those proportions on Daredevil stick out. Moving on to articulation of the figure, starting at the top with the head sculpt. So it's on that long solid neck, so going down to there, looking up to about there. Of course, you have the swivel on the head. You got some pivot side to side with the arms, with the way they are separated from that little chest piece of the suit. So going out to about there, going forward, no issues there, but some bunching at the shoulder. Going back, we have the butterfly joint there, the bicep, got some swivel, double band at the elbow. Again, some little bunching there at the suit, regular wrist peg. Then for some ab crunch, going forward, it's not too bad until about there. Going back, kind of to there before it stops. Got some little swivel at the waist. Some rocking side to side as well. For the legs, of course, always be mindful of the holster, because that kind of moves. So going up to about there, you see a little bunch in there at the waist, maybe. Going out to about there before suit kind of kicks back. We got some swivel at the thigh. And then we have a double band at the knee and going past 90. and a little bunching there too. Then for the boot, so then that, like I said, that PVC plastic, it's just a one-sided piece. It's pretty soft, so going up and down, you get some movement side to side, and you get some pivot at the ankle. All right, so we reached the end of the video for Hot Toys Daredevil from Daredevil Born Again Season 1. Overall, a solid figure, not perfect. Of course, we have the issue of the proportions with the small torso and the skinny arms, very long legs, and regular size head. Hopefully in the next Daredevil release, Hot Toys will address all of those issues. But overall, it's a nice representation of the figure, so if you want to have them in the collection and you can look past that, I think you'll be solid. And as always, I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this one, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more videos, and I hope to catch you all in the next one.